There's so much going on in the world right now. Tensions are high everywhere. I just want to reach out to my military family and have some straight talk with you. I'd like to start with we defend the Constitution conversation. If you're one of those leaders who is ignoring what's going on in the United States, but walking around screaming that we defend the Constitution, miss me with that. Every troop understands that they sign up to defend the Constitution. What they don't understand is why it's okay for the president, the commander in chief, to shit on that Constitution. So if you're going to have the we defend the Constitution talk, then you need to address the fact that the president's comments or stance about using military against civilians exercising their constitutional rights is not okay and not something that would be supported because it would be unlawful, especially when our military justice system has the same racial disparities as the civilian judicial system that we're protesting against. In reference to uncomfortable conversations, I love that General Goldfein and Chief Wright have led the way in making people across the entire Air Force feel comfortable discussing and having these conversations. To those of you who don't feel like these conversations are necessary or don't believe there's a problem, you are the problem. It is no longer okay to ignore the problem, and we appreciate you self-identifying yourself so you can be weeded out. For those of you willing to have the conversation, thank you. But here's what we need. We have enough diverse minority leaders in our service to have this conversation effectively and make impactful change. First of all, every person, every unit leader should be involved in this conversation, and anyone not on board should be put on notice. Secondly, you should be leveraging the strength of your diversity to have this conversation. If you don't have a diverse unit leadership team, then you should be reaching out. Seek out the council of diverse leaders to find out the best way to have the conversation and make impactful change in your unit. The reason why I say we need diverse leaders involved in leading the conversation is because although some of our white leaders actually do care and want to have the conversation and impact change, a lot of y'all just don't understand and can take things left real quick. To my diverse leaders, I use the word diverse leaders because black leaders can't do this on their own. But I do need my black leaders to be at the forefront of this. I'm calling all minority leaders, black, Hispanic, Asian, LGBTQ, women of any ethnicity, and any other demographic who understands what it means and how it feels to be discriminated against, persecuted, and has had to operate in an oppressive system that requires us to work twice as hard for half as much. We need you all to come together. The uncomfortable conversations are good, but they're not enough. I know everyone can attest to witnessing times where people were getting treated unfairly or not being given a fair shake, discipline being unfairly levied on troops. We can no longer stand idly by and let these things happen. Conversations are the first step. Bystander intervention is the next step. Use that rank and position to call out the bullshit. No more of that, it's not my business, or I gotta stay in my lane mentality. That's not gonna work. We need diverse leaders to set up social, mutually supporting communities within their areas of operation. Not a professional org or something for an EPR or award package bullet. Right? A community in which you have crosstalk and support and mentorship across our diverse communities, reaching across units and sections and even bases. Meet somewhere off base and informally every month or every couple of weeks, physically or virtually, right? Creating a space where people feel comfortable sharing their struggles and experiences so other leaders can share insight on how to deal with certain situations or they can step in if need be. This is important because what's happening to the lone black person in an all-white unit or all-white section or all-white leadership team? What outlet or support do they have? And not even just the black person, the lone few women, the lone few Hispanics, Asians, LGBTQ, or any other demographic who feels out of place in an environment full of people who don't understand their plight. Lastly, our diverse leaders need to show our troops how to move and make it in this military. Show our troops how to work hard, how to lead, and how to promote. Too many times I've seen diverse leaders become so indoctrinated by the system that they perpetuate the systemic issues we have. Hold your troops accountable, and don't let them think this current state is a carte blanche to act a fool. Call bullshit on them too. But we have to protect our troops from unfair treatment or consideration. We preach to our troops that they defend the Constitution, but who's defending those who defend the Constitution? It has to be you. And this is how it begins.